don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Mr. Palm. Man, shout out to the Baby Mama Terrence Bounty Hunters. I'm your host, Mr. Palmer. I'm not hyped up because of what I got to talk about today. It's very unfortunate. When I tell y'all these Baby Mama Terrors come in all forms, these Baby Mama Terrors come in all forms. It doesn't matter about the race, your ethnicity, your faith, tall, short, fat, rich, poor, educated, uneducated. Like my father told me, you seen one hole, you done seen them all. A 7-year-old was found dead near Las Vegas. 7-year-old boy. I believe he was autistic. His name is Liam Husted or Houston. He wasn't killed by some pedophile that they didn't know. He wasn't killed by some random dude. He wasn't killed by his father. He was killed and murdered by the most best fit. You know, the one who bared the baby for 9 months and shit. You know, the ones who are quick to get sole custody and primary custody and that child support and welfare and everything else they get from government daddy. Yes, the mother. And her name is Samantha Moreno Rodriguez. Another Baby Mama terrorist in the wind. This happened in June. Boy, you can't make this shit up. So I'm not hyped like I normally be because of this shit. That's why I just keep staying on the couch, run for my child support, keep my veins cold, because as long as these Baby Mama terrorists continue to do what they do and government daddy allowing these Simpson forces engage and give them no accountability, and they won't take no accountability, I will always come out with shit like this so you can know what's around you men, what you could be up against. This could happen to you. And then you had a mindset to think, do you want to chance this, or is it worth it? Or maybe I better do more of my due diligence and investigate who it is and who I'm dealing with. Now, don't get me wrong. You can do all that and then some just slip out the pack down the line. But I mean, by you doing your best, you're not just going because you look good, because it's an easy hit, a pump and dump and stuff like that. And if you want to do the pump and dump, nothing wrong with that. Shout out to Ramil. Just make sure you do it and keep your dick on safety. Let me read this. Mother, which you know I'm not going to use mother. Baby Mama terrorist arrested in San Jose boy's death in Las Vegas. Samantha Moreno Rodriguez arrested Tuesday in Denver, that's Denver, Colorado, in son Liam Husted death. Family, police did not see any signs of trouble beforehand. Yeah, Baby Mama terrorists don't never show no signs of trouble. They play innocent victim. They didn't do nothing. I'm the best mother. That's what kills me when they say, well, the kid was with the mother, so that makes her a good mother. Yeah, but what's going on behind the scenes? Is she manipulating him? Is she abusing him? Is she letting some civil force come there and abuse? Is she take care of him financially and physically? Or he just there so she can get a handout and a check? See, that's what I say. That's that feminist ideology. Well, she staying there for a reason. The judge let her have custody for a reason. Yeah, $51 billion reason. And she reaped the benefits from that. They get their cut. That's why I say they're the right hands of white supremacy. Police say that when Nick Hust, I'm just going to say Hust, got back to his South San Jose home May 24th, the home he shared with his 7-year-old son, Liam, and Liam's mother, Samantha Moreno Rodriguez. So that means they was living together. So they weren't separated, none of that shit. So I'm going to ask that once I finish reading, that things had been cleared out of the apartment, and he was left with a voice message from his longtime partner. So they've been in a relationship for a long time. I'm sorry, I had to do this. Part of the message said, followed by, I'm going to try to get a house for Liam and we could talk about this in the future. There was no panic from the father, who, despite the distressing message, didn't think anyone was in danger. But 4 days later, the body of a boy would be found in a remote area near Las Vegas, it was Liam. Why would he think? Now, me personally, he should. Well, if he'd called the police, they would have said she's the mother, she can do it. But I would have tried to call the police and something. Not saying that she's finna go kill our son. Who thinks that? If the letter saying she basically moving out, maybe he knew shit wasn't right in the house, maybe just have arguments or whatever. But a lot of these baby mama tears ain't got to be proud. They just want to live their best life. And the reason why she killed this little boy because she want to live her best life. Now, my question is back to earlier. You wanted to leave and move out. Why didn't you let him keep the son? If you want to live your best life, why don't you leave the son? And you go about your business because they don't love their sons. They don't love their kids. They don't love their daughters. They would rather kill their kids than the father have custody. They'd rather give it up to the state, give it up to the judges, to the police, to the churches, to the restaurant, to the fire department, than the father having the kid. You can't make this shit up. Let me continue. So far, police and the Hust family have no idea why Rodriguez, who was arrested Tuesday not long after Liam was identified, would want to kill her child, and said there were no signs of trouble beforehand. It might be, but the thing about it is the reason why she would want to kill her child because misery loves company. Why would I want my son to do better than me and outdo me? Why would I want my daughter to be strong and independent? No, misery loves company. And I hate my kid. That's why. They don't give a fuck about their kid. They had them kids for multiple reasons except to love, to nurture, to raise, to take care of. No, not that. Everything else, yeah. Shield, pawn, benefits, money grab, hurt the father, cause havoc, abuse and mental abuse and so on. That's what they have these kids for. It's never for the right reason. Hell, do whatever be planned. Not at all. Something went horribly wrong with Sam, and Liam is unfortunately taken away. Apprehending Sam to face what her actions have done is great. She needs to be held accountable no matter why it happened. Liam's grandfather, Chris Hust, wrote in an email to this news organization. However, it doesn't make a difference for my son. He is devastated by the loss of Liam. Nick Hust waited a week after not hearing from Rodriguez to call the police, not to get her arrested, but to report that his son, who the grandfather said was autistic, might be missing. So he did call the police. He waited a week. I think, 48 hours before you can call a missing person? He should have done it in 48 hours. Should have done it in 48 hours. Because you up and take my kid out the house and I don't know what's going on. I'm not going. I will go to the police beforehand, but they're gonna say it gotta be 48 hours, Jive. Let's continue. He would later learn at the time he gave that June 1st report, a young boy's body had been found 4 days earlier on a hiking trail 20 miles west of Las Vegas. On June 4th, a friend of Rodriguez, not having heard from the mother and son, went to San Jose police to say that a facial photo rendering released to the media to help identify the body looked an awful lot like Liam. By Monday, Las Vegas police had used that tip to eventually verify that the child they found outside the city was indeed Liam Hust. Within hours, investigators had obtained an arrest warrant for Rodriguez and were tracing her travels. By Tuesday morning, she was in custody in Colorado, jail on suspicion of murdering her son. Rodriguez, 35, was arrested at a Denver hotel by FBI-led Denver Rocky Mountain Safe Streets Task Force. 11 days after Liam's body was found in a forested section of the Mountain Springs Trail near mile marker 20 on Highway 160. Chris Hust said Liam lived with his mother and father, who were not married, and that they had sent Liam to a learning center for autistic children. At one point, he said they hired a home counselor to help the child with behavioral issues. but that outside help ended when the therapist relocated and then COVID-19 pandemic struck. As Liam got older, it was stressful for them, but they managed. There were no sign of abuse at all, Chris Hust said. Liam was an innocent child, dependent for their child, and good intentions, like all people with special needs. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Lieutenant Ray Spencer said the investigation has turned up no evidence that Liam was being mistreated. San Jose police added that they had no records of being called to the child's home. Spencer addressed the message he said Rodriguez left for her partner home and why it didn't spur any action sooner. In other words, why would nobody call the police any sooner? Maybe at the time, father wasn't in his feelings, he didn't care, whatever. But this is what also the lieutenant said. There's nothing suspicious in this message that would lead the father to believe that Liam or Samantha were involved in any kind of foul play. Spencer said, I agree with that. It indicated that Samantha had basically left him and took Liam with her, and it was going somewhere else. Spokesperson Sergeant Christian Camarillo said Tuesday that Nick Hust was about pursuing any criminal charge regarding the disappearance of his son. He was simply just letting us know, Camarillo said. He felt it was important enough to contact us and report it, but he wasn't sure what he wanted done. And that's the problem I have. You should, as a father, automatically want her arrested, bring my son back, and I'll get custody. You don't just up and take my kids, but that's what these baby mama terrors do. And unfortunately, we as men we don't try to put up a fight. We say fuck it and all that. No, she kidnapped your son. Because if it was the other way around, she'd do the same thing to you. So we got to get that mind frame off that I don't give a fuck when it comes to your son. Now, don't get me wrong. When she alienates you, manipulate the child and all that stuff, then yeah, I get it. But y'all living in the same household, and she ran off to the promised land to live her best life and set her son up for failure, and you waited a week. Oh, no. Well, it is known that Liam and Rodriguez left San Jose on May 24th, Spencer said, in a dark blue 2007 Dodge Caliber, packed full. On May 26th, authorities say Liam and Rodriguez visited Laguna Beach and later traveled to Victorville. Spencer said Rodriguez and her son checked into a Las Vegas hotel on May 27th, and at that point, Liam was still alive. Next day, hikers found Liam's body. Spencer said police are not discussing how Liam died pending an autopsy, but said he is 100% confident the boy was killed at the location where he was found. Wow. Rodriguez was retroactively tracked to a check-in at a Denver motel May 31st, when no one knew that the body found at the trail was her son. But that mystery ended when her friend back in San Jose contacted police, who contacted Las Vegas police and spurred a detective to fly up and retrieve Liam's pillow and clothing from his home. It was a DNA match for the body found on the trail. Police said Rodriguez was with a man at the time of her arrest in Denver, but Spencer said he was not involved in alleged crime. I bet he wasn't. Probably didn't even know she had a kid. See, that's what I'm saying. These baby mama terrors, they will set their kid up for failure, kill their kid, and the man don't even know she had a kid because he probably said, I don't want a woman with kids. You can't make this shit up. The problem I have with the father that it took him a week to finally say missing person, and he didn't know if he wanted her arrested. He didn't know what he wanted to do. No, you got to be on that shit just like flies on shit. 2 days, 48 hours, you make the report missing. I don't know what happened. She took my son. She can go about her business, but I need my son back. Now, I believe that with that, I do believe it would have been a possible chance that he would have not been murdered. And even if it still happened, you went all the way 100% force trying to get your son back. But because of this, unfortunately, this had to happen. Now I'm going to show y'all the video on the news talking about, you won't believe this, talking about the situation and why she did what she did. Can't make this shit up.
2 weeks after police arrested her for murdering her son, we're learning more about 7-year-old Liam Houston's mother. Thanks for joining us. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Christian Casa. As Brian has the night off, right now we're waiting for Samantha Moreno Rodriguez to face a judge. The I-Team's David Charnes joins us live in studio with new information about a possible motive. David.
Yeah, Christian and Denise, well, a lot of more information will, of course, come out in the next couple of weeks. Metro Police Lieutenant Ray Spencer is providing the I-Team with new information you have never heard about this murder and what led up to it until now. I'm sorry I had to do it like this. It's just part of the message Samantha Moreno Rodriguez left for her partner.
She's not sorry she had to do this. She didn't give a shit about killing her son. She didn't give a shit about the father and the family hurting, being destroyed and devastated and fucked up mentally. No, all she cared about was living her best life, starting over to live her best life and be with some other dude and I guess reap the benefits from him as well. Maybe have another kid with him, do the same shit down the road. These baby mama tears do not love their motherfucking kids. And I don't care about people talking about, well, maybe she got mental issues and postpartum and all that bullshit. I ain't trying to hear that shit. She knows exactly what she's doing. It's clown.
As she took their son, 7-year-old Liam Houston. I'm going to try to get a house for Liam and I, and we can talk about this in the future, she says. Days later, her son would be dead.
There was every indication when she left San Jose that she was intending on starting a new life.
Glimpses of that new life can be seen in Moreno Rodriguez's booking photo, taken hours after her arrest at this Denver area hotel.
She was, dressed up and, had makeup on, and it appeared to be that she had just, we're having breakfast.
Having breakfast with a man she met just days earlier. She's taken in.
A man that she just met days earlier, so most likely she's been talking to dude on Tinder, Facebook, Instagram, somewhere. And she said, I'm going to leave and I'm going to eliminate my situation. Meaning the kid, the man, and everything else. And again, my thing is, why the fuck, if you want to live your best life, start over and everything else with somebody else, why don't you just leave the kid with the father? I'm sure the father would have did his due diligence and been the father he's supposed to be and moved on with his life and getting over you. I told you, these baby mama tears do not love their kids. They don't give a fuck about these kids. But yet I'm the hateful motherfucker that, running, running with child support and shit like that.
Into custody June 8th, less than 2 weeks before she and Liam check into a Las Vegas hotel. A day later, on May 28th, hikers find Liam's body behind a bush off a trail in Mountain Springs.
We were very, very fortunate that that hiker happened to go behind that bush that morning.
Metro Lieutenant Ray Spencer tells the I-Team that they believe Moreno Rodriguez killed Liam early the morning on the 28th on that trail, leaving him naked, his clothes never found.
We knew from an examination of Liam's body that someone was having a difficult time moving him.
That's due to multiple scrapes found on his body. Police say they know how Liam died, but they're waiting on the coroner to rule. Now the 24 detectives who worked the case, looking into 500 tips, are taking a well-deserved breath.
At the end, when everything comes out on how much work went into this case, it's just an unbelievable effort by this police department to hold someone responsible for what they did.
But with many answers now in place, one big question remains.
Why did this occur? And the only person who knows that is Samantha.
500 tips in this case. Right now, Moreno Rodriguez remains at that jail in Denver. No date has been set yet on when she will be brought here, but we expect that to happen within the next couple of weeks to face that murder charge. I'm David Charnes, 8 News Now.
You just can't make this shit up, and that's why I have no mercy, no pity on a baby mama tears that received that Machine Gun Kelly. This is why I tell y'all that these baby mama tears are demons. They the devil's son-in-law. This is why I don't give a fuck about these motherfuckers. I don't care if they jump out the window and land on their motherfucking head and they motherfucking legs split going both ways and shit. Which way they go, ass niggas. I don't give a fuck about them at all. That's why you get no mercy, no pity out of me, and that's why I continue to expose you for what you are, low down piece of shit, human scum that don't deserve to be here on earth. It's unfortunate about a 7-year-old. He gotta die and lose his life because some bitch want to live her best life and start over to the fullest when she could have just left him in the house. These baby mama terrorists, I'm gonna say it over and over, do not love their kids. All they care about is handouts, government daddy, a new nigga that's gonna take them up and live them up to high to the fullest, take care of them when they broke up and keep them up to high and mighty and shit like that. They do not give a fuck about that child. But yet y'all sit back, come to me talking about some who hurt you. This bitch right here hurt me. You know what I'm saying? You baby mama terrorists hurt me. Government daddy try to hurt me. Child support try to hurt me. Baby mama terrorists try to hurt me. That's why, nigga, I ain't hurt, nigga. My veins is cold to the motherfucker T, to the point where if I walk in Alaska naked, getting sunburn out that motherfucker. That's how cold my shit is. Shit.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Mr. Palm.
It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coat. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids.